Good evening, everyone. Wonderful to see all of you. Thanks so much for coming out on this Shabbat evening. Good Shabbos to all of you. For those watching in TV land on the live stream, great to have you with us as we celebrate Shabbat at Avat Shalom. Rabbi Matt Berger, and tonight on the Bima, and also next Friday, our cantorial soloist, Michelle McNicholas, is here. And it's wonderful to have her singing with us this evening. And of course, Joy Katz and Guthrie on the piano down below the Bima as we open up our Shabbat prayers in song by looking at the words of Psalm 133, How Good It Is to Be Together, the words of Hine Ma Tov, also found in your prayer books, Mishkan Tefillah, Dwelling Place of Prayer, right on page 10. Hine ma tovu manai, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Please join us as we sing Debbie Friedman's Light These Lights. After that, you'll find the candle blessing on page 2.
Bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say, Amen. Let us light these lights and see the way to you, and let us say, Amen.
like to share a poem by the modern liturgist Ruth Bryn. You can follow along if you'd like to read with me. It's called God, You Listen. God, you listen to prayer. Hear our prayers when they are worth listening to. God, you are one. Hear us when we are one people. Hear us, each of us, when we speak as a whole person, a single one. God, you create. Hear us when we try to create a loving relationship or a better ground for a growing soul or hope. God, you know us. Help us to summon our souls to stretch with utmost love towards you. We'll continue on page 24. Here you'll find a classic table song about 300 plus years old called Shalom Aleichem, Peace be to you, Melachim, angels and messengers of the Most High. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Kadosh Baruch Hu. Sehem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Segue to Shema and its blessings is found on 26, the half Kaddish, Chatzi Kaddish, words of praise.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Bilma divrachute v'amlich malchute, B'chayechon uvyomechon, Uvchayedecho Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, Uvizman Karib, B'yemiru, Amen. Yehishmei Rabba Mivorach, Le'olam U'olmei Almaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei dekudesha brichu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbichata v'nechemata, dahamiran v'ya'alma, v'yemiru. Amen.
Let's rise together for the call to prayer, the Baruch Hu, found on 28. Yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai lai. Adonai, Hamevora. Please join me. Our prayer of creation, Ma'ariv Aravim, is found on 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim, and words and a prayer of love, Ahavat Olam, found in the middle of 33. Please join me. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We'll sing Open Up Our Eyes.
Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes.
Open up our eyes.
Teach us how to live.
Teach us how to live.
Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Feel free to be seated. We'll continue chanting now the words of the Shema. You shall love Adonai, your God, with all your heart, mind, and soul, on page 36. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha b'derech u'shochtecha u'vkumecha u'kshartam le'ot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'hisharecha tizkeru, vasitem ekol mitzvotai, vitem kedoshim leloechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Please join me on page 39. Reading before we sing our song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, who is like you. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we are taught, for forever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. There is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Malechutecha ra'u banecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe Miriam. Ze'eli anu ve'amru, ze'eli anu ve'amru. Adonai Eloho le'olam va'ed. Adonai Eloho le'olam va'ed. Ya'lamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh. Norati lo oseh pelen, norati lo oseh pelen. And on 42, words of shelter and protection, Hashkivenu Adonai, grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us between thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Let's rise now for our standing prayers, the tefillah, which begin on page 46 as we
open our lips in prayer.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufia gitehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Gula Libnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo V'Yahava, Melech Hoser U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav Leoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Givurot, Umidom Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, B'nei Emanata Lehachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye HaKol.
Holiness, Atah Kadosh V'Shem Kadosh, Ukadoshim B'Kol Yom Yalu Chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Feel free to be seated as we'll continue with blessings 4, 5, and 6 of the Tefillah. First, for the holiness of Shabbat and the blessing of coming together. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. God's presence always remain with us here in Israel and throughout the world. Baruch atah Adonai Hamachazir Shechinato Litzion. And words of gratitude called Hoda'ah, found on 59. Baruch atah Adonai Hatov Shimcha Ucha Na'eh Lehodot. And our final prayer of the Tefillah is always for peace. Birkat Shalom, also known as Shalom Rav, found on 60. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people forever, for you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel, Ukraine, and the world with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael. Shalom. Michelle is going to lead us in Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon טוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם.
We'll now turn our thoughts for a prayer of healing, the Mishaberach prayer, God the one who blesses those who are in need of strength and courage. You'll find the prayer, in addition to the screens, on page 253 in your prayer books, as we think of the following individuals for healing: Jacqueline Albin, Penny Barna, Lori Bauk, Joanne Beeman Fiddleman, Yonatan Riven Ben Rivka, Charlie Burke, Babs Brown, Stephen Drenane, Harry Fleisch, Denise Freifeld, Mitchell Freifeld, Sidel Freifeld, Eve Goldstein, Don Hirschman, Susan Lafer, Cole Montgomery, Michael Ranzino, Gary Rosenberg, Stephanie Ross, Dennis Schulman, Albert Schaefer, Jeff Stark, and Marty Wassoff. If there are any other names you'd like to add for healing, feel free.
My mother-in-law, Kay Schleich. Mishaberach Avotenu Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
At a young age, Bernie decided to become an aeronautical engineer and build airplanes. So he studied hard, he went to a great school, and after a number of years, received his degree. Before long, he gained a reputation as one of the finest engineers in the business. He decided to start his own company, therefore, to build some jets. His company was such a hit that the president of Israel asked Bernie to come to Israel to his office for a meeting. And he said, "I want to commission your company, Bernie, to build an advanced Israeli fighter jet." Bernie, of course, was pretty psyched about this prospect, so he poured all the resources of his company into building the most advanced fighter jet in history. Everything looked good on paper, but when it came time for the first test flight, disaster struck. The wings just couldn't take the strain. They broke clean off the fuselage. Thankfully, the test pilot was able to parachute to safety. Bernie was devastated. Undeterred, he completely redesigned the jet fighter, but the same thing happened on the second test flight. The wings sheared off. Very worried now, Bernie decided to go to shul, to synagogue, to pray and ask God where he went wrong. The rabbi, being a good rabbi, noticed Bernie's sadness and said, "What was wrong?" Bernie decided to pour out his heart to the rabbi, and after hearing the problem, the rabbi put his hand on Bernie's shoulder and told him, "Listen, I know how to solve your problem. All you need to do is drill some holes directly above and below where the wing meets the fuselage. If you do this, I absolutely guarantee the wings won't fall off." Bernie smiled and thanked the rabbi for his advice, but the more he thought about it, the more he realized he had nothing to lose. So Bernie did exactly what the rabbi told him to do. On the next design of the jet fighter, they drilled some holes directly above and below where the wings met the fuselage, and you know what? It worked. The next test flight went smoothly. Brimming with joy, Bernie went back to tell the rabbi that his advice worked. "Naturally," the rabbi said, "I never doubted for a moment that it would." Curious, Bernie asked, "So, Rabbi, how did you know that drilling the holes would prevent the wings from falling off?" The rabbi answered, "Look, I'm an old man. I've lived for many, many years and had lots of experience, and I've celebrated Passover many, many times. And in all those years, not once, not a single time, has the matzah broken on the perforation." I always wait to see. So all Bernie needed was a little bit of direction, much akin to the Israelites when they were wandering the desert for those 40 years, taking a quite circuitous path from Egypt toward the promised land of Israel. I bring this journey once again to your attention because it's one of the main storylines in this week's double portion of Torah, which brings the book of Numbers, the fourth book, to an end. In Hebrew, they're called matot maseh, meaning tribes and their journeys. Not long ago, people used magnetic compasses to find their way, like the one you're going to see right on the screen. Now, this particular compass, that's a picture of this compass that I'm holding in my hand, was actually used by at least one, maybe more Israeli soldiers in the IDF. I received it as a gift some 20 years ago when I was ordained by the Hebrew Union College, the Reformed Seminary in Cincinnati. I've always felt that the symbolism of the compass was quite apt, because all of us, including a rabbi like myself, need to find our way at times. And what better instrument to use than this classic navigational tool, which, by the way, I learned was invented during the Han Dynasty about 2,200 years ago in China. The Israelites wandering in the desert, however, predated the compass by over 1,000 years. Instead, they used another type of nifty system to find their way and follow God's lead. Without it, they would have been hopelessly lost. I like to call it divine GPS. It shows up as a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. It let the people know when to start moving and when to stop, when to turn this way or that, and when to go straight ahead. Today, of course, we use GPS technology found in navigation apps from the likes of Google, Apple, or Waze, which was actually invented by Israelis. All of us have our go-to app on our phones. Yet, not long ago, and probably all of you will remember the time we used to use road atlases and fold out maps, the big paper kind or the ones that were laminated, to find the best way to get from point A to point B. A little bit early on that, but that's okay. Of course, there are people who continue to navigate by other means, like taking a left at a particular gas station or taking a right at the post office. And there are even some folks who actually get out of their car and ask people for directions, which seems very quaint by modern standards. One feature, though, that every navigation app has, you can turn it on or off, but it's usually automatically on, is that it auto-saves every location that you visited. And guess what? Long ago, the Torah did the exact same thing. It lists every single place the Israelites stopped in their 40-year journey. But why would we need such a reminder? A commentary or a midrash explains. Once there was a king whose son was ill. Being a good dad, he took him to a certain place he knew of to cure him. On their return journey, his father recounted all of the stages of their journey, reminding his son, remember when we slept here for the night and later on? That's where we found some cool water by this stream, and so on. Our smartphones actually work in the exact same way. For instance, the photo app that I use automatically recalls pictures and memories from recent years as a reminder of my personal journey. Just as we recall and remember experiences in our lives in this way, so too God remembers every step of our people's journey as they made their way toward the land of Israel, taking the time to list all of the Israeli encampments in places like, you're not going to be able to see it, but if you follow the purple arrows, places like Sukkot, Etham, and Migdol, 42 places in all. I'd like to think that this mirrors, in a way, our family tree, as our parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents may have journeyed from places like Odessa to Ellis Island, or from Austria-Hungary to the Grand Concourse in the Bronx in New York. Eventually, through life's twists and turns, we eventually make camp, so to speak, and settle down. And while many would say this is due entirely to the decisions that we make, it's also possible that we've been led by something greater than ourselves. What the Torah is teaching us here is to value every step along the way, to find meaning in life's moments and redemption in life's journey. Perhaps this is why the Torah doesn't even tell us what happened when the Israelites actually reached the promised land of Israel, even if this was the exact goal they've been working toward the entire time. Rachel Annisfeld, a scholar of rabbinic literature, puts it this way: the point, as it turns out, is all those little stops along the way and the life that was led on the way to the land. There's great wisdom here. By nature, we are seekers and strivers. Much of the time, we're in motion. We're trying to do something, achieve something, or be someone. That being said, we shouldn't forget the value of the process. And as we add one moment to the next, each step becomes a possibility and opportunity to find meaning and personal redemption. Time and again, the Torah describes the Israelites' journey using a single Hebrew verb, usually vayisu, meaning they, the Israelites, traveled here and the Israelites traveled there. This is all well and good. The Israelites had a job to do just like we have jobs to do today. At the same time, however, the Torah takes the time to write concerning each and every stop along the way, not just vayisu, meaning they traveled, but vayahanu, meaning the Israelites encamped. All of us are travelers in this beautiful and quite complex world, a world filled with love and hate, goodness and evil. Hopefully, at every stop and in each encampment along the way, we'll learn how to be present in each place, and moreover, be grateful for the blessings that we enjoy. Shabbat Shalom. So, in the spirit of giving thanks for life's blessings, it's my honor to invite two of our very dear and special congregants, Nicole and Mike Skalka, to the Bima, as this is their last Shabbat with us here at Ahavat Shalom before they move back to the Lone Star State of Texas. Cue the music. Yes, you got it. So just a little bit about, I'm going to make it short, I promise, and then a quick blessing, and then you're out of here. You just don't want to cry. Okay, so that's what it is. So they've been congregants here for many years, and so active in the congregation, each in their own singular, unique, and precious way. Of our board of trustees, and most recently our treasurer, and she's done so much work also with the sisterhood and mahjong, and so many wonderful ways that you've touched the lives of people in this congregation and made it a better place. Mike and Nicole have also been part of our tech team for the last number of years, volunteering their time to make the viewing experience here, and then also for the people watching at home, a smooth one. Mike, I tapped just a couple years ago when our longtime religious school song leader Eve Goldstein retired after 22 years or so. I invited Mike to consider becoming the new religious school song leader, and he jumped at the chance. There was a whole lot of music that he had to do and kind of a big learning curve, but I always had confidence that you were going to do it because you got the chops as a guitarist, and moreover, you have a love of music and a love of kids. It has been such a blessing to know both of you, to walk the road of life with you these past 3 years, and for those who know them much longer than that, they help make the world a better place. Both of you have certainly made Ahavat Shalom a very, very special place, and we will miss you terribly. And as we say right there, Toda Rabbah, thank you. And one quick blessing, Yihiyu Ratzon Milfanecha. May God, who blessed our ancestors, the patriarchs, the matriarchs, the generations of our people and the generations of your family, guide you, Mike, and you, Nicole, safely back to the Lone Star State of Texas so that you can be closer to your Kinderloch and your grandkids and family. May your new home be filled with love, spirit of joy, and always learning, and of course, music. May you travel there safely, and may the road and the journey that you go on from this point always bring health, happiness, and joy into your lives. And let's say together, Amen. We'll continue now with the words of Aleinu. You can find the words of adoration on the bottom of 282 of your prayer book. Please rise as the ark is opened.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Feel free to be seated. You'll find the words of Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, on page 294 in your prayer books. As we think of families in the period of Shloshim, as they remember their loved one, Marcia Goldstein, wife of Gary Goldstein, and the families of Jody Kaplan, family of Marion Kaplan. We note the recent passing of Janice Drenane, friend of Marilyn Satinoff. For Yahrzeit anniversary of passing of loved ones on this Shabbat, we fondly remember Yinto Bahar, Ruth Berkeson, Barry Berkowitz, David Bowman, Stephen Kane, John C. Cleveland, Molly Cohen, Albert Cohen, Sylvia Eisner, Donald Curtis Ford, Lillian Freifeld, Selma Freudenthal, Echo Goldman, Sidney Gorodeski, May Greenberg, Anita Sylvia Greenberg, Mildred Grossman, John Hortachuk, Sylvia Klein, Bonnie Klein, Stephen Kligerman, Harold Cronenberg, Robert Lang, Jay Milton Margolin, Stu Morovsky, Julius Novak, Sylvia Uziel, Jean Patrick, Charles Perlman, David Rivland, Bud Rothschild, Adele Schwartz, Nechama Schwartzstein, Ruth Harrison Seligman, Rabbi Mark Dov Shapiro, Samuel Schlafer, Jeffrey Siegel, Jack Solomon, Anna Weiss, and Leonard Winston. Are there any other names to add for Yahrzeit at this time? We say Zichronam Livracha, may the memories of all of these good people continue to be a blessing in their loved ones' lives as we rise to offer the words of Kaddish praise together. Yikadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayetech beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv imru. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'alam u'lalemei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Osei shalom b'mrama v'huya asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the one who causes peace in the heavens cause peace to descend on us, Israel, Ukraine, and the world, as we say, amen.
V'imru V'imru amen, v'imru ve'imru, v'imru amen.
Feel free to be seated. You'll find the Shabbat Kiddush on page 5 in the Siddur in the prayer book or right on the screens. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei bria gafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. This Shabbat hodsho b'ava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit, ki hu yom tekilah l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat mitzrayim. Ki banu b'harta v'yotanu kidasham mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'ava u'ratzon imchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai HaShabbat.
Amen.
Chaim, to life. Three kids or young adults to join us on the bima for the Motzi, blessing over the bread, or in this case, challah. I know you like seeing week after week how Avi continues to get taller, but I have not started shrinking yet, but he's like almost there. I'll never get smaller. That's right, you know? Yes. There you go. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
B'teavon, enjoy. Yes, oh, this is my daughter, Maytal, and on loan from St. Louis, Shayna. You want to say hi? Sure.
Okay. Hi.
There you go. Yeah, we're going to finish, don't worry. Thank you so much. All right, just a few announcements. Many thanks to Michelle for a beautiful voice, Joy for a wonderful piano playing, along with our tech team, which tonight is Brad Wexler and Barb Gittimer. Thank you so much. Sisterhood's annual honey fundraiser is open. The 8-ounce jar of honey is the perfect way to wish someone a sweet and healthy new year. Info on how to order is found in the announcement booklet and on the Sisterhood page on our website, ahavatshalom.org. The next book club meeting Bagel and Lox breakfast, sponsored by the Brotherhood, will be Sunday, July 23rd at 10:30 a.m. An informational meeting for our June 2024 trip to Israel will take place the evening of Saturday, August 26th, with refreshments, some Israeli food, and following the service, please join us going through those two doors for our Oneg Shabbat fellowship in the social hall. And we're going to conclude with a classic Shabbos service ender. You can find it in all of its 5-slide glory, Ein Kelohenu, also on page 322. This one we're going to sing to the Beatles' Let It Be. Ein Kelohenu, Ein Kadonenu, Ein Kemalkenu, Ein Kemoshienu. Mi Kelohenu, Mi Kadonenu, Mi Kemalkenu, Mi Kemoshienu. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkeinu, no del Moshienu, no del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkeinu, no del Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adonenu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adonenu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu. No del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkeinu, no del Moshienu, no del Eloheinu, no del Adonenu, no del Malkeinu, no del Moshienu. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.